Whenever we move to the new area, the number one question comes where you should live. Which neighborhood is good or which neighborhood is not good? Even let's go further, which city is good and which city is not good? So in this video, we are going to break down, especially for the neighborhood, how can you choose the neighborhood you should live in. This is Komal Acharya. I'm a local real estate agent located in the Florida. If you're looking to move here or if you're even thinking to move here, make sure you subscribe my channel. You will see a lot many information here. And yes, we help tons of buyers who are relocating. Florida has been hot after this COVID started. So make sure you contact us or you just subscribe our channel. You'll get to see a lot many information on this. So number one point, you need to make sure before you choose the neighborhood, choose the city first. So you got to kind of narrow down your choices. Of course, when you move to a new state, you have so many things going in your mind. Every person's situation is different. For example, some people are moving near to the work and some are not. They are kind of making it more, open choices, especially in this time because many of the people are working even virtually, so they don't have to choose something closer to the work. But however, you still have to narrow down your choice to the city. Either you do by the internet research or else you check out videos like this, what I'm making for, and you kind of get an idea virtually like how the cities are, what are the pros and cons, what kind of cost of living you see on the city, what are things to do for the city in the city. So, and if you have a kids also, then also you got to figure out that what you are going to, what kind of fun things you are going to do with the kids in that particular city. So those things, kind of brainstorm and then narrow down the option for the city. In case you need further help, you try to contact the real estate professional like us, where they know the area the best. Every real estate agent doesn't know the area that much because everybody has their specialization, right, for a particular area. So make sure you do your homework before you choose the real estate agents, and they kind of help you out to give you another view or another perspective to kind of narrow down the area. When you choose the neighborhood, you also have to make sure the culture of that neighborhood, and that's what something kind of give you better idea if that neighborhood is for you or not. How to identify the culture? So culture means is more like, is it friendly with the kids? What kind of population or demographics you will see in that neighborhood? Is it the quieter neighborhood or kind of, like, is it near to the downtown? So this is like, if you get married, you just don't get married with one person, it's the whole family. Just like that, you're not just buying a house, but it's, buying in the community. So you do have to see the culture, you have to see what kind of neighbors are there. Is it kids-friendly neighborhoods? How safe it is for the kids? So those are all things very important. Now let's talk about in deeper, how do you find out? So the number one way to find out the online world, of course, you get a lot of groups of that particular neighborhood in a Facebook. Maybe they won't allow you to kind of enter in those neighborhoods until you are living there, but you can always find a way by contacting the admin and trying to get like, I want to know more about the neighborhoods and I don't see a problem, they won't let you in. So that's the first part. Second, of course, you have utilize the help of the real estate professionals who knows the area, who know all pros and cons, everything about the area. So that's another way you find out. And the most efficient way to find out about the neighborhood is just drive around. It's better to see by your own eyes what kind of neighbors are there. Just go on a random time like morning, afternoon, evening, or weekends. So you got to see the different times. Like if you see the kids on the street, do you feel what their instinct says there? Or sometimes what I do for my clients, we just knock on the doors of the neighbors, and that's the most efficient way to find out how that neighborhood is, how that area is. And another way, as a real estate professionals, I will advise also filter by the price. because price is the most important thing that will kind of filter by itself which are good neighborhoods or bad neighborhoods. Sometimes between good and bad, it has the border, like a gray area. For that, you may have to do a little more research in advance, but at least between a good, bad, or average, that's something you can 100% narrow down just by having the price filters. And the most important piece to find out about the neighborhoods, the schools. You got to see how the school ratings are. There are multiple ways you can find out about the school ratings, like looking at the gradeschool.org or niche.com. There are many, nowadays even Zillow or Redfin or any of the third-party websites, that also shows the schools, like, which house has what kind of schools. And just for a general knowledge, every school is kind of divided between the zip codes. Sometimes it happens one zip code has even multiple school access, so one school would be good but one not. So you have to go a little bit more deeper. And there are a couple of cities in Florida that you don't have to give any second thought. That's why people love living here, like Parkland, Westin, Boca Raton, because all the schools are the best in this area. But there are some cities where you literally have to do more homework by doing all these different approaches, and that's how you narrow down the options, because one city may not have all the schools, great schools, so it depends on what you need. When you choose the neighborhood, then another factor you must look for is what kind of amenities that neighborhood is providing you. There are like different varieties of the neighborhood here. So if it's considered like a best neighborhood, it will have a resort style clubhouse for sure. It will have multiple pools, like a water park kind of feel for the kids, basketball court, racquetball, tennis court, and it could be even more than one clubhouse too. And there is another category is called with the membership. So not every neighborhood, even the best neighborhood, won't have the membership part. This is something extra when you need, like for playing the golf. Florida is very famous among the golfers. So if you are looking to play golf regularly, then definitely you need to look for a neighborhood where the membership is provided and it's much cheaper than you have the membership outside of the clubhouse. And the last thing to look for, and I guess that's the first thing to look for, is the crime rates. You definitely have to see what's the crime index for that particular neighborhood or that particular zip code. In South Florida market, or overall in Florida, I would say many of the cities actually has the variations, because you may, in a one street, you may not find the higher crime rates, but across the street there is. So you literally have to kind of go more deeper when you inquire about the crime index. And don't just rely on the online charts or online informations. I will 100% kind of put, if I were you, kind of doing the research by asking the local professionals or asking if your friends there, or also the online research on a Facebook. I find that's really very helpful. There is another app, it's called a Nextdoor app. There is some website called niche.com. I usually look at it if something new neighborhood I want to find out about. And that's something gives you more like overview by the reviews, from the residents. So it's like actual overview instead of judging those indexes, because that still is analysis, right? From safety can be found out also by what kind of communities you are going for or the neighborhood you're going for. Like, is it gated? Is it non-gated? There are pros and cons of having gated community, non-gated. Internally, I will not just rely on the gated, like that factor, but how much the security patrol, that community has. That's also very important piece. How strict are they? If something happens, how fast they react. Because I have seen some of the community, I've seen having the burglary of the car, even from that gated community too. So you literally have to watch out and kind of go more deeper of the security patrol, or how often they do, what kind of rules they have if guest comes in. So many ways you can find out about the safety. So these are the points which I have thought about kind of making your life easy if you are looking to find the good neighborhood and how to find them. Comment me below what you guys think. If anything else I have missed out, feel free to write in the comments that what are other ways you think to find the good neighborhood. Maybe that would be helpful for me to find those neighborhoods for my clients for the future. But I would love to hear your thoughts.